Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Stella Sora video. So let's talk about rerolling in this particular game, since the game has about, I think, 12 hours before it's launching, right? So I'm going to give you guys my tips and my idea of rerolling myself. Keep in mind, all of what you're about to see is going to be based upon the closed beta test, the CBT version. So there's a chance that some of these things are going to change a little bit when the official game releases. So take everything you hear here with a grain of salt. So with that being said, let's talk about rerolling. Now, how do you reroll? So obviously, when you're trying to log into this particular thing on PC or on any of the device you're playing, you obviously don't want to use any of this method, right? Don't use Google, Apple, or whatever this thing is. So you want to use the email address that you have, and then you can use salted method. So for those of you who are not familiar with salted method, basically that's just going to be you add a +1, +2, +3 at your email handle at gmail.com. So that's going to be what you're going to do. It will basically send a verification code to the same email, and then you can enter the code and log in. That's going to basically refresh you to have a new account. Make sure you do not bind the account after you reroll, right? All in all, what you gotta do is you just gotta play the tutorial, play the game until you reach the ability to unlock the gacha pools, and then you can then access your mailbox as well. From then on, you will be able to reroll, alright, claim all the pre-registration rewards. You should be getting about 70 total pools right here, alright, combination of separate tickets, and of course, you're going to get this particular thing called the Stella Resume Pack, which is going to be a selector, alright. This is going to allow you to select one of the 5-star character or 5-star trackers from the standard banner. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about the best character to reroll for and who should you be obtaining, right? So let me jump into this particular recruit. So keep in mind, this is based upon CBT, alright? So again, all of these could be changed on the official release. So there's a chance that some of these things could be a bit different. But you are going to get very distinct banners, two specific banners, right? One is going to be for the 5-star rate up Chitose, alright, so hopefully you guys try to get her. So I do recommend rerolling for her. She's going to be one of the more important characters, which we're going to talk about shortly, right? But one more is going to be, you have this beginner banner right here. Alright, so this beginner banner, as you can see, you are going to be able to do 200 recruits or 200 pulls, and then you can basically save some of the results, and then you can choose out of this one, who do you want, right? So basically, you are going to guarantee to get one of the 5-star right here. Now, who is going to be the best one? So keep in mind that this is going to be based upon the official release, but based upon in CBT, in closed beta test, Nanoha seems to be one of the better characters to obtain. Alright, she is going to be one of the best one in the standard banner. So ideally, I would say, if you want to do multiple rerolls, if you can get Nanoha, that's going to be a good one. She's probably going to be one of the better character for the Ventus element. Now, what about the others, right? What about Frisha, Minova, Mystic, Chisia, Jerry, and Nazuna? Now, Jerry and Nazuna, as far as I know, these two characters, these two girls right here, this one and this one, they are both not available in the closed beta test, in the CBT version, right? So the official release, we're going to have these two characters. Now, no one knows how strong they are, so they are going to be of this particular element called the Terra element, right? So, and then we've got Rich as well, which I believe she is going to be somewhat new in the official release as well. So that's going to be something that will probably have to wait a little bit. So take everything you see or hear with a grain of salt right here, right? Now, before we jump further, I need to talk a little bit more about element for you guys, alright? So if you guys go to the Ascension, this is going to be where you're going to be able to push in this tower to basically push in certain elements are going to be stronger right here. You can see the recommended. This one is going to be the light and the earth element, and this one is going to be the aqua and the ventus element, right? Notice these two, alright? So this one is going to be where Chitose and I believe Nanoha is going to be good right here. But you know, since you're starting early on, ideally, you want to try to split into 2 teams so you can make at least multiple teams, right? So depending on how it is in the global official release, you might want to consider getting Nanoha later via Selector, and then try to reroll for either Mystic or Chisa in that particular case, right? Now, Mystic is a very, very good support character for the Umbra element, which is a dark element, right? So she's very, very strong. So she can be used in the other tower. She's not that good as a main DPS character in my opinion. You can use her still, but it's not that strong, right? Chisia, on the other hand, she's going to be quite versatile. Based on my experience, she's also quite strong. One of the better fire character as well. Now, if you get her for the Ignis type, she will be able to carry you there. Now, again, you should still reroll for Chitose. That should be still your priority, right? But whether or not in this particular beginner banner you want to get Nanoha, you want to get Mystic or Chisia, these three are going to be very, very strong. Nanoha is probably going to be the strongest. From what I gather, she's very, very strong in the CBT version. But like I mentioned, I'm not sure if you will be getting the Selector day 1. So this particular, they did say that they will give you the Stella Resume pack, but I'm not too sure if this is going to be something that you get within day 1. During the beta or the CBT, I believe the Selector was given to you on day 5 login. So basically, it's like a 7-day login period, but you get it on about day 4 to day 5-ish. So if you are going to get the Selector on day 5, alright, maybe you get Nanoha a little bit later on so that you can progress in the game early on, because there's going to be, like I said, multiple different towers, so you can basically at least explore 2 towers on the easier difficulty, alright? So in that case, Mystic, Chisia is going to be the best characters to obtain early on. Now, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, right? Like I mentioned, day 5 is like, that's like not too far away, right? You're still gonna get the other characters eventually. You probably don't even need to reroll in the game, to be honest, right? So because they are giving you 2 selectors, as far as I know. So that's going to be something that you can basically benefit from. You can basically get Nanoha and get Mystic later on. So unless you are not trying to get Chitose, then there's just no reason to reroll. Now, if you want to go hardcore, you want to like go crazy, you are like a reroll freak, you're gonna sit there for 12 hours rerolling in 16 monitors, then you want to get Chitose and of course get her weapon as well. Alright, her weapon, this particular one, Sword Against Stream, very, very good for the Aqua trackers, right? So very, very good for the elements. So even if in the future, let's say Chitose were to get power creeped, I feel like this particular weapon that's specific for her is still going to be able to be used in the future as well. So if you want to go crazy, you can go Chitose and then her weapon afterwards, like that's going to be something insane. But for me, I'm just going to get 1 copy of Chitose and then come here. Like I mentioned, Mystic and Chisia is going to be the priority if the Selector is not going to be on day 1. But if you get the Selector on day 1, you can pick Nanoha and then use the Selector for Mystic or Chisia and get 3 5-star on day 1. There are some players that will ask you to get Frisha. In my opinion, I don't think you should try to get her. So why is that? Because she's also going to be a water element, which is the same element as Chitose right here. So one more thing to consider is while you're rerolling for Chitose, you also want to try to get this character right here. So this is going to be Teresa. So in my opinion, since you need 3 characters in a team, Chitose and Teresa, she is going to be a, you know, she's a beast character for Chitose pretty much, right? Because if you look at the skill right here, she will be able to basically give you a shield, right, to the main tracker. So she's pretty much a support character for Chitose, right? She gives you a shield, and then she has this Tidal Domain thing that do damage every second and inflicts this particular Aqua mark. Alright, so Surging Shield can absorb damage based upon her attack. So she is going to be a very strong shielder for Chitose, and Chitose is a melee character that's going to be constantly moving around, so therefore they both have very good synergy with each other. Now the other third character that maybe you want to make a Chitose team is probably going to be since you are going to get Iris for free, I would say just utilize her. She's going to be a starter character, so therefore you have 1 full dedicated Aqua team. Like I mentioned, the game do reward you to have a mono element team, and you need 3 characters in a team, right? So that's going to be pretty much it. So with that being said, that's going to be pretty much it for this particular video. I hope you guys are aware of what's happening. So it is going to take about 15 to 20 minutes if you're playing through the story, skipping everything. So it can be quite long. If you don't want to reroll, that's fine, right? Like I said, Nanoha is going to be very, very strong. If you don't want to reroll for Chitose, then you can just straight up just get Nanoha from here. I feel like she's a very, very strong character from the Ventus element. Probably one of the strongest one, but make sure you guys keep an eye on the lookout for the Earth Elemental characters or the Terra Element, which is going to include Jerry right here alongside with Nazuna and of course Rich, right? I think these 3 characters right here are going to form a team as a whole as well. So with that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already, give this video a like. I'll see you guys when Stella Sora comes out. Have a nice day, goodbye.